This time at the Quick Speed Shop, I'm back working on my boogie van. I've got my front end round headlight conversion just about complete. I've sandblasted my panels. I'm getting them ready to weld in. I'm also doing some other work, working on the floor. It's boogie van action here at the Quick Speed Shop, starting right now. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Alright, well, welcome back to the Quick Speed Shop. I'm back working on the boogie van project here. Last time you saw me do the round headlight conversion here. I've gone ahead and I've finished up the other side. I got the same part disassembled here. The original gray panel for the rectangular headlight. I put the round headlight panel in. I got it zip screwed in just like the other side, and I checked my fitment for the grille and all that. What I've been working on is just getting it ready to do some final welding. I've cut the marker light hole down here in both panels on both sides, and I've had to do some rust repair in the previous video, or actually where's the piece of it here? I got the piece. Where is it? Uh-oh. Crap. Yeah, found it. Kind of wrinkled up, but this core support piece here had a big hole routed in the top of it there. So I went out back. I got a Ford box truck 82 van with this van nose on it, and it had a pretty good piece here. It had a little bit of rust in the corner. I was able to trim it up, and I've got the piece here to replace that spot that was rotted. But it also had, this ends up being like triple layer, or is it double layer, triple layer? Parts are triple, parts are double, and it ends up rotting here. Apparently they all rot here. So I've got the piece. I got to get my cabinet blaster out tomorrow. I'm going to sandblast the rust off the inside of this and get this ready to go. I made a patch panel. I did a separate video on how to make simple patch panels. It's going to be coming out basically using cardboard as a template and cutting out a piece of metal on the Beverly shear. So that'll be a separate video just for people who are just interested in the fabrication of small patch panels. I got out my cabinet blaster. I sandblasted the headlight pieces here and everything that had rust on it. And then I took some, where is it? Right here. Should have had this prepared. I took some Eastwood rust encapsulator, and I used this as the primer because the pitting was pretty good. So I primered with the encapsulator these bare metal panels. And I also went here and I ground the front edge of the core support where it welds on. And I just take the grinder and I clean up the spots where I'm going to do the spot welding. So I've got the passenger side piece in place. I had my zip screws from before when I had it on. I've clamped it all in place where I think it's got to be. And now I'm just going to slowly weld both pieces in and then hit it with the encapsulator again. But I've got this here. I also sandblasted the inside of the, actually the whole thing, but the repair panel down here, that was pretty pitted on the inside. I hit that with the encapsulator, and that will weld on here after I finish welding this up, and I'll make the repair, put the corner of this back together. So a whole bunch of work went into this to get ready. I also did the headlight buckets. They were pretty pitted. They're sandblasted up and primed with the encapsulator as well. So I'm just going to get the welder out. I got some plug welds here, the ones I drilled out the spot welds. Now they're going to turn into plug welds. I'm just going to clamp it down, and I use my hammer, my grind, and my welder, and just tap this panel and weld it, hit all these spots, and just plug weld these pieces back together. I've got the original top piece up here in the gray from the gray van, and weld that back on and weld this in, and we'll get the front of this van welded right back up, and then the sheet metal surgery for the round headlight conversion will be done. So, pretty exciting. bam, it's just that easy. See, these are a plug weld. Originally they were spot welds, but since it's me welding from the outside with the wire feed welder, it's a plug weld now. But I got that all plug welded back together. Up here, here, and around. Up here, down through the side. This is nice, all locked back in. I went and I pieced that piece of the corner that I cut off the other truck back in here. And here is the marker light hole for the marker light now. Got my round headlight piece installed. I'm just going to hit it with a grinder, smooth these up a little bit, and then go ahead and fog it with the rust encapsulator. This black crap on here, this is a Z-Bart rubberized undercoating, which don't ever get on your vehicle. It's terrible. It makes everything rust out from the inside out. Seals all the seams up. It's awful. Watch my fluid film videos, and you'll see one where I had to fix a Chevy Colorado that was ruined by Z-Bart. So that's my Z-Bart message. But unfortunately, this truck was sprayed with it before I got it, so I got to deal with it. But I'll get all this ground down. I got to find some color match gray paint for this van. Everything from here down below, I'm going to flat black the whole front of this out, so behind the grill it'll be all flat black, flat blacked out. But this side is done. I just got to repeat the process on the other side to get the driver's side done, and then grind all my welds and hit it. And that'll essentially be complete with the sheet metal surgery on the front of the van here. Bam, that's a win. Bam, there we go. Got everything all welded up and ground down. Got dust all over me. And I gave everything a coat of flat black. It's still kind of shiny because it's drying, but it'll look good behind the grill to be all flat black and blacked out behind there. And I cleaned some of the undercoating off this, sanded this down, and gave it a shot. The black too, just so I mean, it's pretty much hidden behind the bumper, but black it all out, paint it black, hit the track. That's what I say, paint it black, hit the track. So what I need to do now is let this dry, obviously. I ordered some new headlight adjusters, just like Dorman parts to replace that because they're all junk. I got to replace one of these plastic sliders in here for the bucket, and then I can put the buckets back in it. But essentially, this, like I said, is the part that's done. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this core support piece. It's like galvanized and painted and then has the undercoating on it, so it's like pretty nasty. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to clean this up without, it should be like sandblasted and redone, but I'm going to try to clean that up somehow because it looks horrendous, and get that going back in. But I got some more mechanical stuff to do, so I'm not going to put the radiator in it. Actually, the radiator is junk. I got to buy a new radiator, and if you've been looking for radiators last several years, brass ones are pretty much impossible to find, and a lot of stuff is reproduction now, plastic and aluminum. I'm actually going to get a welded aluminum radiator for this. They make an aftermarket one. It's about $300, so I'm going to put that in here. It'll be a good solid piece. I'd rather have a welded aluminum radiator than a clamped together plastic and aluminum one. So that'll go good. You notice with the van sitting here that the steering box is leaking. The lower shaft seal is leaking and it's been dripping on the floor. My box truck out back that I cut some of the pieces out of this has the same steering box, and that doesn't appear to be leaking. So I'm going to pull the box out of that and the box out of this and swap them because it's pretty much impossible to change the seals on the steering box without disassembling it. So I got to do that now too. I have some new power steering hoses for it, because they're all cobbled up when they did the handicap conversion. But we'll get this thing cleaned up under the hood a little bit, and so it runs a little bit, so it ought to run good. But this is, I'm happy with the way this came out. It looks, it's pretty much factory. The only way you can tell that it's not factory is the way where I spliced it in here. You can see a little bit of the old headlight, or the old marker light edge there, and I cut the new hole, which doesn't have any rolled edges. But once the grill is on and the panel down here is on, it's going to be factory, so it's perfect. I'll let this dry, and then we'll go back inside and get on the floor. I bought this floor panel, and I showed it to you last time in the video, but I see some differences here already. You see this stamp here. This is for the earlier Ford Econoline vans that had a standard transmission as an option with a 4-speed on the floor. And I'm not sure what year they stopped doing that, probably like 86 or 7, because, watch this, this says this floor pan fits all these vans. If I pull this away, you'll see here there's just ribs. There's no cutout for the shifter hole here. So they changed when they dropped the 4-speed transmission option of these vans. They changed the floor pan because the 86 motorhome I have out back has this style floor pan with a cutout here, and everything seems a little bit different. They also seem to have changed the shape of this cutout, unless this floor pan is extremely wrong. It's got more of a kick out here than my motorhome. I can show you in the daylight tomorrow. It's got some kind of a panel here, and I believe this hole is shorter. Got it cut up into here like this panel. So I got to do some finessing and trimming to make this work. Luckily I've got a good edge here. What I think I'll end up doing is cutting, leaving about a 1/2 inch around here and overlapping this new floor pan onto this edge of the doghouse and welding it in there. And then I'm going to go right back over in here and take this thing all the way. I'm going to cut this out. There's a lot of holes and stuff drilled in this floor that I was going to have to weld up. The braces here, I'm going to probably cut the floor back here almost to the center of the hump, and then replace this section of floor panel, all these holes in it, around with a new one. So this goes like that somehow. As you can tell, I already did some eyeballing here. This hole for the body mount doesn't line up with the hole of the body mount in the frame, so that's off. I mean, obviously this is just a $40 panel I bought that's made in Taiwan, so I can't expect it to be perfect. It's aftermarket. And that's kind of what you get with aftermarket, is it's close. Ow. It's kind of close, but like this dimple here where the bolt for the doghouse goes, that seems to be lining up pretty good. So I think this part is the same, and then the tunnel got smaller here. So this is for the earlier style floor, this floor pan, even though it showed it all the way up here. But I can make it work. I think I'll be able to make it work. Just have to do a lot of trimming and cutting and fitting. Like I said, I'm not doing 100-point restoration here, so if I can get it close, you know, and just fix the floor up good enough for what I'm doing. I actually thought about taking the entire floor out of my motorhome that's outside the garage and drilling all spot welds out of the sill plate and all the way around the edge and cutting the floor here and replacing this entire floor with the floor from the motorhome. I thought it was going to be a lot less work welding wise and stuff, but now I'm looking at the amount of spot welds I'd have to drill out, and underneath of the braces some are going to be hard to get to, and I don't know if that's going to be, it might end up being more time consuming. So I'll probably just trim this down and use this panel here as best I can, just kind of make it work. It's multiple days later. I haven't got any more work done on the floor. I had to go out of town for a few days and do some business down by New York City. And I'm back, and I guess I'm going to have to finish out the video here without, because I haven't got any work done because I've been gone. But as you can see, after the black paint dried on the front here, I just stuck the grill on just to get an eyeball at it, and you can see that the 70s round headlight look is coming on strong. Looks good. I got the headlight buckets painted. I ordered some new headlights that should be in a day or two. Some new, what do you call them, halogen headlights for it. So I have the headlights for there, and pretty much now the paint is dry, I can reassemble the fenders on each side, put them back on. I'm going to spray some fluid film here on the inner structure just to protect it before I put it together. I got a couple little surface rust spots on the fenders I'll touch up before I put the fenders back on. I also bought the new headlight adjusters. They screw into the panel here. 2 little screws. We got those, are a Dorman part. Ordered some of them, got those so I can put the headlight buckets back in. And this isn't the grill I'm going to be using. This grill came out of a van that was wrecked. It's got some damage up here. The plastic is broke and it's actually warped because the front end of the van was all twisted up. It's got a lot of warping up in here. So this is like my fitted up parts grill. But I've got 2 more grills. I got to pick which one is the best, and I'll put that in the van. I might need to touch it up. I also want to order some more parts. I think I talked about the radiator being not very good. I bought a radiator. I don't have it yet, but I ordered it from Radiator Express. It is a Radiator Express I got it from. It's a welded aluminum 3-row radiator. Fits in here. It's a stock replacement size, but it's an aftermarket piece. That was pretty expensive. It was $300. That should be here in a day or two. So I have a brand new radiator to put in this. That should cool super good. I'm also thinking about exhaust systems here. These vans have, I got a diagram. So the exhaust comes around to the passenger side. There's a catalytic converter, actually 2 catalytic converters here in line. I'm going to use the front one, and then I'm going to upsize. This is like 2.5 inch. It's like 2-inch pipe, I think, or 2.25 inch pipe coming into the first cat, and then into the second cat, the pipe gets bigger, almost up to 3 inch. So I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to transition to full 3-inch pipe. I've got a muffler. Where is it? It's right here. Hold on, I'm not prepared for any of this. All right. So I'm going to transition from the catalytic converter into 3-inch pipe, and then I'm using this 3-inch glass pack muffler. You can see it's pretty much a straight through muffler. It's got some baffles here. They grab the air that way. They let the air go by that way. I bought this from Summit Racing, and it's the same mufflers I have on my Model A Hot Rod Shop truck. They sound good. And actually, it's the same muffler I got on Project Green Machine, my 95 F250. And I love the sound of it. It is aggressive and loud and resonates at certain RPMs, which I like. My truck from about 2100 RPM has really good resonance. It's pretty loud. Most people probably find it obnoxious to ride around in, but I like, just like motorcycles, I think loud pipes save lives, and they scare the deer away from the side of the road. So, and scare people. Get back! You hear the muffler coming, get back. So I got that to go on there. Now we're going to go from the 3-inch glass pack. I've got a 3 to 2.25 inch Y, and I'm going to Y to duals, and I've got some Ford aftermarket tailpipes I bought at Hershey at the swap meet. They're aluminized 2.25 inch pipe. Going to come up and over the rear end, and the pipes I have are straight out, but I have some 2.25 inch aluminized 90s, and I'm going to cut the pipes back and 90 out the sides of the van behind the rear wheels here, and have dual exhaust coming out the back. So it'll be like faux duals, but I'll get the crossover effect of like a Y pipe by having through the single, bringing them together here, the Y in the front, and then upsizing the system with the 3-inch pipes and then back down to 2.25. So it should have plenty of flow. It should sound pretty good. They're going to have a lot of, the glass pack's going to be up in the middle of the van, so going to have a lot of pipe after it. That should help with some like wrapping effect when you let off the gas. It should have that good like 60s, 70s glass pack sound, and be moderately loud, but to get the exhaust out the back, hopefully it won't drone inside the van really, really bad, but it should be pretty loud on the outside of the van, like people would have had back in the 60s and 70s running around terrorizing the streets. So we're going to do that. The exhaust system, I'll have about, with hangers and stuff, close to about $200 into it, but it'll be all aluminized pipe from the converter back all the way out, brand new dual exhaust system. So we'll be putting that on here in the near future. Once I get this thing about ready to run, put the exhaust on it there. So got a whole bunch of parts coming. I've also got some other things that I order here, radiator hoses and stuff. So my plan is to put the front clip back together, and then I can start doing the mechanical work I got to do on the engine, get some things changed out, new serpentine belt and stuff. Then also while I'm doing that, get the floor finished. Then I'll remove the body lift, set the body back down on the frame, and then be able to do some of the wiring, get the thing fired up, put the gas tank back in it. I want to be on the road by springtime with this thing so I can get it out of here. Hopefully get it running and mobile before that, maybe like in January, and be able to move it around and turn it around, because I want to turn it around to do the exhaust and stuff like that. So that's it with that. Stay tuned to the next couple of videos. I went out of town, like I said. I went down to Newburgh, New York. I went to the Motorcyclopedia Museum, and I helped out the guy that owns that. We did some work in another building that he bought, took down some things out of the building. So I'm going to do a couple videos at the museum. Very, very interesting. If you're into motorcycles, you want to stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing 2 videos on the museum, another video on the stuff we demoed, and another warehouse, a lot of cool old motorcycle stuff in it. So next couple of videos are going to be awesome motorcycle content. I don't have any motorcycles, never ridden a motorcycle, but this stuff is old and super cool, and I think you'll appreciate it. So we'll be doing that next couple of videos. So in the meantime, that'll give me some time to catch up and work on this thing while you're watching that. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again at the Quick Speed Shop.